Welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. I just recorded my whole intro of me talking for about 5 minutes with my microphone muted, so I'm a little frustrated. But yeah, last episode we were working on this. Now you guys know, or I've mentioned it before at least, some of you may know that I record on the day that you're watching a video, so later today the comments will come out on the previous video, and I'm expecting to see some rage comments about me doing the powered rails here. It was pretty much immediately after I'd finished uploading the video that I remembered a video that I saw a while ago by Seth Bling where he done his portable chests, and that made me realise that what we need to do is send the chest into the side here. So this bit here would be a powered rail going into there, and then we'd have that one block opening and we would see the minecart come across and yeah, just rest there exactly where we want it to. It would also mean that we can close off the area around here and you wouldn't have to look into the back room as much, so that is the solution. We're going to get to doing that in a moment, but yeah, you may notice that this isn't how we left it last time, and that's because the server had a rollback. So I went caving for about 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours. Just I didn't really need to. I have tons of resources, but I just tend to like always getting more resources coming in than going out and stockpiling loads of it over time. So yeah, I went caving. I felt like I needed to do some because I hadn't done some in some time, and when I logged back on I was standing here facing this way and I was like, ah, this isn't good. And I asked JB and it turned out there was a problem with updating to 1.4, and unfortunately we had to roll back a few hours, so I lost all of my caving and I decided to go caving again. I sort of went in the same areas, got some of the diamonds that I knew where they were, and I took a different path as well. And the place that I've been caving is just the other side of the sheep pens over there. I've made a little staircase that goes down into a ravine, and from that area there I've been caving around that side, and there is the most enormous mine shaft I think you'll ever see. It just doesn't stop, it goes on forever and ever, and I spent about 3 hours going through it in one direction off in that way the other night, and then last night I spent about 3 hours going in that direction, and it's silly, it really is. It's a huge mine shaft. I've been getting tons of resources from it, so I thought I'd show you those. And also my armour has taken an absolute beating. Let's go have a look at it. Yeah, that was after about an hour of caving that happened. And in 1.4 it seems to me like there's more mobs everywhere. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but when I go caving now I'm just constantly harassed by mobs, and the damage took all of this really quickly. The armour took the damage really quickly. Now this is because the protection absorbs the damage into the armour, and I observed this because despite fighting loads of mobs my health was never down by more than say 2 hearts, and this is because all the damage was going straight into the armour. So what I've concluded from that is that this is good for PvP. Ultimately we want a diamond set of armour, but I could just wear this when I go around and I'm not really doing much. So if anything surprises me, I've got some really good armour to absorb the damage. And I also have my sword with me as well, and I forgot that I was using my xisumavoid blade, and unfortunately that broke. So I think what I want to do anyway with that is make it into a diamond sword. So when I go caving I've got a really good sword, but it won't run out quickly, so the diamond one should last for a long time. And also I've been using, this is about 2 hours, an hour and a half of caving. You can see it's taken quite a bit of damage from the creepers, that one. And yeah, so these high range enchantments, the ones around level 30, they absorb the damage into the armour. So I think for caving what we need is something mid-range, perhaps protection 2 and all of this, because like I said, I never saw my hearts go down by more than 2. So I'd rather have my hearts go down about halfway and have the armour last longer so I can go caving for longer. So I'll be doing some more enchanting at some point. I'm not sure if I'll really show you that in the episode. And enough rambling, let's get to it. This is how my resources look at the moment. I still have tons of diamonds in here as well because I haven't spent any. And I've also decided to stop gathering coal. Now I always used to get it with Silk Touch, and I have 2 double chests full of it over in the old storage area. Now I've got all of this as well. I thought enough's enough, there's no need to keep collecting it. And I've also got a fair amount of redstone there. I've got about 3 stacks of redstone ore from doing that. So there's one more thing that I want to show you, and that is my skin. There you go. Raven's Child won by a landslide, and check that out, that looks awesome. I'm really pleased with that, so thank you Raven's Child, thanks for everyone who voted. And yeah, I just want to walk around with this skin on for a bit. That looks great. So yeah, I didn't think I'd do just a single video to tell you who won. I thought I'd show it off in the LP. Seemed like a bit pointless just to do this for like 30 seconds, but there you go, there is the skin. So the first thing we're going to do is just finish this little project off. It shouldn't be too difficult now. I can foresee some problems though. For example, here we need the powered rail to go this way, and then we're going to need a block behind it so that when we power that block, the minecart's going to push off of the track. So that means we can't put a button here. So I'm going to have to investigate another way of doing that. And same thing might happen over this end as well. If we have the powered rail going into this block here, it's this one that we need to power when we call from the other side, and if we press this button it would power it as well because the wire runs over the top. But I think that's what might happen at both ends. We might have it so that there's just one wire that powers both ends at the same time, and then you can press the button to send it to the other side or receive it. So you're not going to press it if it's already here. I guess it doesn't really matter if it gets powered because the minecart's at the other end, and by the time it makes its way over to this side it won't be powered. So yeah, it shouldn't take me too long to do that. Well, there we go. This now works. I press the button, it goes that way. Press the button again, it comes back, and this wire here is rigged up to the button on the other side as well, so that should work. Sometimes when you right click on it, it can be a bit slow to open. Actually, thinking about it, that's just the server lag, isn't it? So one thing I'm undecided on is if I should do this like that, or I should do, let's put half slab up there, something like that. I think that one looks, oh yeah, that's definitely the way to go, because now it sits right in the middle of this wall as well. There's 1.5 and then 1.5. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do that. Right click on that. See, it's not working now when I right click. Let's try and jump and... okay, I can't access it at all. Is that because of the half slabs? No, okay. I think I'm clicking too high up on the chest. If I right click anywhere, even on the minecart, you can open it. I thought that if you only right clicked on the chest that it would open. So anyway, that's what that one's solved. Let's just go over to the other side. Okay, so let's press the button. It will be wired up to the same piece of wire, and then I can just right click and grab some items. So that is a cool little feature that I've added there. I'm just going to tidy it up, make sure everything's lit inside, and put all the blocks around here so you can't see too much of what's going on behind, and then that is done. Okay, this project here is now finished, and I'm not sure if I showed you already, but yeah, this is how I read on the side here. And this actually took me some time to do because I was being really fussy about what you could see through the gap here, but now all you can see is stone bricks, and it's the same thing on the other side. So that is that project done. Happy with how that turned out, and I have quite a few things lined up that I want to do next. I've been making a list of all the ideas that pop into my head, and on that list is one I had ages ago which I forgot to investigate, and that was just simply to check out maps. So this is the copy of the, well no, this is the original map of the Avalon Island, and this is actually named Map 2. I don't know if I made one before on Hermitcraft, but that's what it's called. And apparently now we can clone maps, so that's something I'd like to try. I've also got these item frames because when you put a map in one, it shows you it like that. Now, I don't really think that looks that great. Like, from far away it really doesn't look like anything. If you get up close it's kind of useful. Does that update as if I face this way, is that going to see the little cursor on it? It looks like it's facing one way, and then I'm not sure if that updates or not. But anyway, you can now with maps apparently zoom in and do other things. So I want to make a clone of this map first of all so that we have a backup. And now there is I think, yeah, look, there's another cursor underneath that green one. I'm not sure what that green one represents. If I were to put down another sign somewhere, maybe it would make another green cursor. Let's move away so it would appear in a different place. Let's just put that down here. And now we have two green cursors. Oh dear. Well, I probably should have made a backup of this map before I decided to put in an item frame, but I didn't know about that. So yeah, anyway, you can zoom in with maps, you can zoom out, you can make maps in the nether now. So I just wanted to do a little bit of investigating, and the first thing I'm going to do is clone this map. So I've cloned the map, and unfortunately it has also cloned the green cursors. Now I think the way this is supposed to work is It's like an indicator, and one of the things I thought when I saw that was that you could actually mark all the different locations on the island, but it looks like that's going to be permanent. There's no way on the wiki to get rid of that, which is unfortunate, but we now do have a backup of the map. And the other thing that I wanted to try was to zoom in and out, so I think if you do this you will zoom out, and let's just put that in there. Okay, let's have a look, and it's kind of hard to tell, but I think that has zoomed out. Let's compare it to that one. If we just go over here a little bit and let more of it load, we should see some of the water around the outside. And it's raining. It's always raining. Okay, so you can see just to the left of me is the water. That's that bit over that side there. And I'm not really sure if there's too much difference. Tell you what, I'm just going to have to go explore for a while and see before I can really compare. And there's also a way supposedly to zoom in, unless this is the absolute like maximum you can zoom in at, but yeah, I'm going to read a bit more, do a little bit more playing around, try and get more of this one uncovered, but I think that might be all I do for now. There doesn't seem to be too much point to this. Maybe what we could do, if we could zoom in more, is have a big detailed map, so we could have like, say, like a 3x3 area on the wall with lots of item frames and each of the different maps in them, but I don't know. Okay, check that out, that is seriously cool. I really like that. Okay, so what we have here is the old, I don't know, scale or whatever you want to call it, and this one clearly is bigger, so that did work. You can see that little cove. It's hard to kind of point at it. There we go. Just to the left there. That is a lot bigger on this map here, so that's definitely zoomed out. Now I just made a new map, and this is the default zoom. Now that big square is the mob spawner, which is really interesting because I've covered up the top of that, and also the shape of it isn't exactly a square. Unless... no, that's definitely where the mob spawner is. I thought I might be going mad. Oh no, wait, I am going mad. That is that. Oh wow, this is seriously cool. I love how that looks. I've always liked pixel art, and it just reminds me of old school games from like the early 90s that I used to play. But this is exactly what I think I want to do. I want to put a load of these on an item frame and then get them so the borders all match up, which might be tricky to do. And this is going to be like a big project. I can see it involving lots of calculating, like where you first open the map so you're centered, although I just crafted this down here, and that is definitely not... yeah, I'm not in the centre of the map, am I? Look where my cursor is, and then look where the cursor on the map is. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go make another map, and I'm going to go just over to the right hand side where you can see the animal breeding pens, and make one over there. And what I think it might do is automatically assign it to a grid, so rather than the centre of the map being where I open it when to look at the map, it would be like a predefined grid, and wherever I am in the grid it will pick that one. So I'm going to make another map and see what happens. Okay, we're going to go over the edge of the border here, and then there you go, it turns into a dot like that. Now I think that's just an indicator that we're in that direction, so let's take out another map, right click on it to activate it, and now we should be on the left hand side, and there you go. So look where that one is, it's right next to that, so it assigns it to a grid. And what I love about this is wherever I'm standing it just generates the whole thing. Now I don't know if I had a further one that was further zoomed out, if I'd need to go travelling to get the rest of it, or if now they just reveal all of it. I guess they don't, because we made the larger one a moment ago. But yeah, this is going to be a really cool project now. I think I'm going to make a whole bunch more maps, get a load of them together, and we'll make a room somewhere where we can put a bunch of item frames on the wall and put them all in this like next to each other, so we can have an overview of the island. So I realised that this didn't cover or generate the map for the whole thing. If you look at the top right hand corner you'll see a few pixels are missing, so if we just walk over to where we made the map and then head in that direction a little bit more, you'll see that will get covered up. But I've been thinking about this, and I've got myself... there you go, that's finished generating. We should head up here now and do the next one. But yeah, I've got myself 18 maps here, so we can make plenty of these, and what I want to do is some tests to find out how this works, because we got a green cursor on the item frame when we placed the map in it before. So if I were to place this map here in an item frame that was over, say on that side, which would appear in this map, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I just want to find out where these things are going to appear so I can carefully pick where it is I want to put the map, because I don't want too many of these cursors on it. But anyway, we need to go and put one just up there, and then we want to go to the left of that as well. So it looks like I'm going to have to do this while swimming in the water. And I'm probably actually going to have to go swimming a little bit because... Oh, what did that do? Did that... It put it in my inventory, that's okay. Yeah, because not all of this is going to generate. There you can see the top right hand side. Anyway, I'm going to swim around, do a few more of these, and then we'll take a look at them. This is really cool. I think this is a great addition to the game. Just check this out. When we put these all next to each other, they're going to look really cool. Not much on either of those two, but they've just got a little bit of the land mass. So what I was just wondering is, how much can I affect this? And also I'm wondering what the actual size of it. It looks like it's almost block for block there, and a way we could do a test for that is just to go over here. Where's a good place we could measure? I saw something a moment ago. I don't know, yeah, it definitely looks like block for block. If you remember earlier I was talking about going caving, this is actually the entrance to it just over here. So we've got this cobblestone here, that appears on the map, and then this little entrance does as well. And yeah, it's definitely block for block, so I wonder if we can actually put our mark on the map. So 3 blocks like that. And what map was it? Probably the one that I removed from my hotbar. And yeah, we can, that's great. So that means these things are going to update as we use them, but I'm just wondering how that would work as well. Let's say that we put this in the item frame. It probably wouldn't update until I came to this location and held the map, but that's a test we can do later because I'm going to be cloning these. But yeah, this is really cool. What I could do is for... Let's have a look. Well, one of these is the very top. I'm not sure which one. Actually, it might be that one. What I could do is go into the ocean up the top there where I'm pointing at my cursor and just place down blocks that say like Asumas or Avalon. Just put Avalon, not Asumas. Avalon, I don't know. Put the name of the island out there on the ocean, and then it would appear on the map as well, which would be great. So as well as as well as having a map of the whole place, we'd also have the name of it at the very top. So another really cool thing we could do is in the top right hand corner we could build a compass all the way out at sea, and then that would appear on the map as well, which would be a pretty interesting project to do. But anyway, I've cloned all of these maps, and now we can start testing with putting these in item frames, because my plan is to build a map. Now if we build these in the nether, I'm fairly sure that the item frame markers aren't going to appear on them. But that's not really what I want to do. I actually want to put it somewhere around the centre of the island, so we'll have a little building that you can go into and take a look at the map of the whole place. So now that we've cloned these, what I'm going to do is just play around with placing them on item borders on one side of the map, and yeah, just figuring out where they're going to appear and what exactly is going to happen, because the last thing I want to do is put them all in item frames and then have loads of green dots all over the place. So I'm just going to play around with this and see what happens. Okay, I've done a test. I put the map in the item frame and you can see the green cursor where that was, and then I went into the other area over there where it would be represented on a different map, put it in an item frame, and yeah, it leaves that white dot on the side. So if we were to build this in the overworld, every single one of our maps would have either a green cursor or a white one on the edge. So I think the only thing to do now is just to go into the nether and see what happens when we place it in there, because another place I could actually put this is somewhere in here. Maybe when since this is the first place you walk through or walk into, maybe we could just put it on the wall here or down the bottom of these stairs maybe, I don't know. But anyway, let's put this on the wall and just see what happens. What's that one? Oh, that's okay, a different part of it. Let's put that in there. And it doesn't look like it makes any change whatsoever because we're in the nether. So if we were to put this in the nether, we'd have a nice clean map, and if we put it in the overworld, we're going to have those cursors. So I think I'll leave it for now. Maybe there'll be some changes with the maps coming up. Hopefully they'll sort out something to do with those cursors, because that's kind of annoying. But yeah, that's me done with the maps for now. That was really fun to play around with and check all of these new features out. I had to do it. It would have been cruel to just done all of that and then not show you what it looks like. These are the backups, so I'm going to just leave this in here for a while. We can make copies of the other ones anytime we like. And I'll tell you what I'm curious to know now is that if I go into the overworld and make some changes, when I come back here, will they change on these maps? I think that'll be the last test that we do. And this does look okay, but I don't know, I think the maps need to be closer together. There's just too much of a gap between each one for it to really look that great, but that is definitely a cool feature. Let's go back into the overworld and make a few changes. So I went into the overworld, and on top of the little circle hub bit I put in some cobblestone, and well, you can see it hasn't appeared on there. So I've just noticed in the left hand corner of my screen, if you look at that, it disappears. I think it does it up top as well. That's strange. But yeah, so you have to go open the map up wherever you are to see the changes. Well, we talked about maps for a fair bit there. I didn't expect it to get so distracted by them. But at the moment, there's not much else that I want to do because the other projects I had in mind would take a fair amount of time to do. And I've got loads of videos that I'm working on at the moment and just other things to do, especially on here as well. I need to go enchant my armour and finish caving off around those areas so that we can increase the rates on our mob spawner. But that is one of the things I just want to talk to you about. I've been talking to Sci Guy Ryan, and we found a way to actually improve the rates on the spawner, and it's the kind of task that I'm going to have to wait until I've got some free time to do. But spawning is started by air blocks. The code of the game finds an air block, and then from there it initiates a spawn somewhere. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it's the air blocks themselves that start the spawning, and it doesn't necessarily have to be one where the mob will spawn. So what we can do to increase the rates in our spawner is dig a perimeter around the outside of it and just leave air in there so that there's more spaces for the coding, or the code that starts spawning to start. So around the whole perimeter of this place, if we were to dig it out by around 5 blocks, is Sci Guy Ryan's estimate, then we could actually increase the rates of spawns inside our mob spawner. So there's something else to do to increase the rates over here. That's kind of a bad reason to build a mob spawner underground, I guess, because the more area you have, the more spawn rates you can get. So there's something else that we'll do in the future, but I don't think I'm going to start that anytime soon. That's a really big task. One of the other things I just wanted to tell you I had an idea for is the AFK stream. It runs in a straight line going that way, and what we could do is drop items into it from multiple places. And one of those other traps that I wanted to build around here was one to separate the zombies and the skeletons and just give us creepers. So we could, with the valve system, perhaps have another trap over here that just lets the gunpowder fall down into the AFK stream, so we can put it into gunpowder mode, which is what I'd probably leave it in most of the time because that's all I really use. And then last of all, I want to leave you with an idea that I had to build a farm on top of the nether. In fact, I'm not sure if it was my idea. I was talking to Sci Guy Ryan, I think, and he suggested ender pearling through the roof, so you can actually ender pearl through the roof of the nether, through the bedrock onto the top of it, and that's technically a legitimate way of doing it. I asked people who play on the server as well, and I think most people are fine with it. If you do it legit, then it's fine. So you could ender pearl your way onto the top of the nether, build a portal and link it back to one here on the overworld, and that way you can get on top of the nether, where if you build a mob spawner up there, it's just going to be ridiculous, the spawn rates. But it's the kind of thing I'm not too comfortable with myself. It does feel like cheating, like it wasn't really supposed to be like that. So I'm not really too sure about doing it myself, and I just wanted to throw the idea out there. I thought you guys probably wouldn't like it either, but let me know what you think. Do you want to see a project like that? I'm not saying that if you guys want to, I'll do one. I'm just really curious to think what you guys think of that, because it's technically possible to do in a legitimate world. So I'll leave you with that to think on, but as always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.